From the Siouxland News Studio, the Wayne State Basketball Coaches Show with Sports Director Jordan Furby.
And welcome into another edition of the Wayne State Coaches Show. We're joined by Wayne State women's head coach Chris Kielsmeyer. Chris, thanks for joining us again.
Sure, Jordan. It's great being here.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, kind of up and down weekend for the girls last weekend. The record now is 17-2 on the year, still number 11 in the polls. Split 2 games last weekend on the road, a 69-50 loss to Concordia St. Paul. Just a tough game all around for the girls. This is a team that actually beat you guys earlier in the year too, so they've kind of maybe a little bit had the number a little bit this year.
Yeah, they're a difficult matchup for us, and every team has got that team that can really knows how to defend you well and is very smart defensively with what they do. And they make it very difficult for us to get shots, and when you do get a good shot, you got to hit it. And for the most part, we did that in the first half, played pretty well in the first half, and came out in the second half at the beginning just really flat, missed some shots we should have hit, and lacked a little confidence. They got going, they hit some shots and made some plays and had a ton of confidence, and we just didn't play nearly as sharp as what we should have, and very disappointing performance by our program in the second half. But sometimes those things happen, and a lot of it is just how you bounce back from it, and that's what we talked about Friday night, and we came out and played a great game on Saturday. So.
Yeah, no, I hope we weren't jinxing it, because I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about how well the team was shooting, but I think, like you said, every team kind of can go through those lulls a little bit. Just looking at some of the stats from the night, Ashton Yosi still had a great great game, 13 points. The rebounding maybe wasn't in your favor as it was in previous games, but like you said, you guys were able to bounce back from Friday's night and then have a good game on Saturday too.
Well, we rebounded really poorly all weekend, so that's been a big focus for us all week this week in practice, and we need to rebound better. Losing on Friday because of how we shot and that stuff is not a huge concern, because we've shot the ball great all year. On the year, we're shooting 47% from the field, which I think any coach in the country would take. That we just had some shots on Friday that didn't fall, and we knew that if we could get those same looks on Saturday, just play with a lot more energy, play with more confidence, rebound better, hopefully, which we didn't. But we still just played hard and found a way to win. And Saturday, I thought, was probably from an effort standpoint, the hardest we had played all year. We still didn't necessarily play great at times. We gave up 78 shots and we only shot 49. So how do you feel like you played great when you had almost a minus 30 shot differential? But overall, just extremely proud of our players for being able to handle the disappointment and the emotions that were shed Friday night. We knew it was a big weekend for us, a big road trip. Friday was a huge game for us, and we didn't play well, and we were very disappointed with that. And for them to be able to handle it mentally and come back the way they did on Saturday really shows a lot for who they are as people, not just players.
And Saturday was a big matchup, not only a top 25 matchup, number 22 Minnesota State Mankato. This was also a big matchup in the NSIC. I mean, with the loss on Friday, had you guys dropped Saturday's game, it'd be a dead even standings in the rankings. In the standings, actually, you guys would both be the same record, but you guys bounced back. You opened the second half on a big run, and things kind of started to get going. And free throw percentage, my goodness, was it 89% you guys shot on Saturday. So really, it kind of was a nice win. You guys ended up getting the 89-82 win over Mankato. Nice bounce back victory.
Yeah, I told them after the game that I was going to tell everybody I was the free throw coach for the game. To shoot 35 for 39. Yeah. We certainly won the game from the free throw line in part. There was a lot more to it than that. But from the conference standing race is what you talked about. We control our destiny. We know that it doesn't matter. We don't have to look at other scores and look for help. We realize that right now as we sit, that if we continue to win games, we're going to win the regular season conference championship. And that's the goal right now. That's the focus. And so we need to get better each and every time we're together and play better during games. And it's pretty exciting to feel in the middle of January with 5 weeks left that you have a shot to control your own destiny with it. So that's what every team wants. That's what every player wants, and we have that control. And so let's really try to seize it and go out and make the most of it.
Yep, and the Cats have a 2-game lead in the South Division at 10-2 in the conference standings. Coach, just real quickly too, 3 players reached 20 points on Saturday night. Ellen Hansen, a season high 20, Addie Roller, a season high 22 points, and Jordan Spencer, once again, doing good things for you, 26 points.
Well, the offensive balance is something that we've seemed to talk about every single show this year, but I was really proud of Ellen Hansen. She's a senior, and some games she comes out and plays really active and very involved offensively. Other games she just seems to disappear offensively, and that was kind of the story of the weekend. You know, she didn't score a point on Friday, and on Saturday she scored 20 points and played one of the best games she has as a Wildcat. And we're a much better team when Ellen plays that way. So Ellen needs to really be involved and really step up and try to make a lot of plays down the stretch here.
Alrighty. Well, Wayne State returned home this week. 2 big games, Friday and Saturday, coming up tonight. We'll talk about the matchup with Sioux Falls. That's coming up after the break.
Siouxland News presents the Wayne State Coaches Show on Fox 44.
And welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show. We're joined by women's head coach Chris Kielsmeyer. Chris, you guys come back to the friendly confines of Rice Auditorium this week. You had a game against Southwest Minnesota State last night, and now you guys get your rivals from a new rivalry, I guess, from Sioux Falls coming in this evening at 4 p.m. is what time the game tips off. Biggest things you're looking for in tonight's game? Well,
we just need to continue to play at a high level. Handling the back-to-back in the Northern Sun is always a concern, but I really feel like the last couple weeks we've been a lot better with that, and I think that's behind us. I think that this group understands that mentally they control themselves, and we can play at a high level physically on Friday or Saturday, which has been a problem for us in the past. But, you know, we just got to appreciate the moment. There's a lot at stake every single time we take the floor, and the neat thing with this group is they haven't felt pressure all year, so let's not feel pressure now. Yeah. Let's just continue to enjoy playing the game. Love the game that you love, that you play. You know, our players just play with so much passion, so much love for the game. Just let that be what drives you. Don't be worried that if I miss this shot, the outcome might be bad or something. Just go out and play and have fun, and just play the game that you love.
Now, Sioux Falls isn't having the greatest year, but I guess this is probably maybe one of those games where you need to really elevate that focus, because sometimes one of these teams that maybe are right in the middle of the standings, they can come up and really bite you.
Yeah, well, they're a lot better than what their record looks like. We played them earlier in the season, first part in December, and they almost beat us at home. And they're a difficult matchup for us. They have 4 or 5 players out on the floor that can shoot the 3 at all times. Yeah. So defensively for us, it's very challenging to be able to defend that many shooters out on the floor, out of our zone. And so we realize every time that we play Sioux Falls that we really have to be at our best to be able to defend them. And offensively, we need to be prepared to put up a big number. We don't feel like this is the type of game where we can go in looking to win 60 to 50. We realize that we're going to need to score some points tonight. And again, just play confident and just love the game that you play, and just play it at a high level.
And with about, you know, it's kind of hard to believe that there's less than almost less than 2 months until conference tournament starts, till NCAA tournaments start. What's kind of your state of the team? I guess right now we always kind of seem to update how the team's feeling so far. You said you control your own destiny as far as the NSIC is concerned.
Well, from that standpoint, you love where you're sitting, because what more do you want? You want that control, and you want to make sure that you don't give that control up. I think we need to play more consistent in more areas of the game. We need to rebound more consistently. That's been something that's been really good some nights and hasn't been there at all other nights. It seems like when we don't rebound at all. Yeah. And that, you just can't be a great elite team, one of the best teams in the country, if you're not going to do everything in the game at least pretty good. And in some areas of the game we've been bad at, and other nights we're good at it. So that consistency needs to change, and we need to be at a level that allows us to be successful with all aspects of the game.
Is that maybe the biggest thing you think the team needs to do to maybe take it to that next level?
Well, I just feel like we're going to defend each and every night, and you know, offensively, some nights you're not going to hit shots, and you just know that. Be good enough defensively and rebounding to overcome those nights when you don't shoot the ball well. And for the most part, that's been how we've had a lot of success this year. But the rebounding thing is something that's been inconsistent, and that's a big concern of mine. And it's been something we focused on as a coaching staff to try to get better with this year. And again, like I've said, most nights we've been pretty good at it, but we've had a handful of nights where we have just been really off with it, and we've got to really correct that and make sure that that's got a lot more consistency with it.
Alrighty, well, Wayne State plays at home tonight against Sioux Falls. That one tips off at 4 o'clock. Coach, I want to thank you for joining us.
Sure thing.
All right, coming up next, we'll hear from the men's coach, Brian Dolan, on how the Cats did last weekend, plus their matchup with Sioux Falls this evening. Coming up after the break. And welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show. We're joined by men's head coach Brian Dolan. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Brian, another, just like the women, kind of a split kind of weekend, 1-1 on the weekend. A great win for you guys on Friday, an 83-80 win over Concordia St. Paul. And the big story was you guys were down 61-50 with 10:51 left, and you guys come back and just make a tremendous rally to end up winning that game.
Yeah, we did. That's a little shady on the score. I mean, it was an 11-point game, but they had just gotten there. They went on a little 5 or 6-0 run to get it to 11. Then we went on a 19-1 run, I believe, and closed the gap. And we had started shooting the ball a little bit better about halfway through the first half, and it just kind of carried through the second half. Then we caught fire there for a few minutes. Ryan Rolston and Ty Bashek hit some good, big, deep threes for us, which we really needed, and we knocked down some free throws and took care of the basketball. And I thought we guarded really well for the final 30 minutes of the game, and we got out of there with the victory, so we'll take it.
Yeah, and 4 players in double figures. Ryan led the way with 20 points and 15 rebounds. You're getting that consistent scoring that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, which was nice on Friday.
We got that night. Yeah, we got that night. So that's our biggest Achilles, is just being able to score the ball nightly. That's going to be an issue. So I thought we guarded really well Friday night, and we made big enough shots. I think they got close there late. They made 3 tremendous threes in the final 35 seconds. Where I'd say maybe one of them was a decent look. The other 2 they just kind of threw in to make the game a little bit closer than it was. So. I think that our guys did a nice job of closing the game out. We didn't panic when those shots went in, showed some maturity and how to finish the game, and then made the free throws when we needed to make them. So it was a good win for us. Any road win in the NSIC for us is a good win right now, being a middle-of-the-pack type team, and that's maybe what can separate you from the other teams in the middle of the pack if you can win on the road. So, I like the effort that we gave on Friday night, and it was a good win for us.
Talking about Saturday night, maybe it was all the effort that you guys had on Friday night. Just kind of Saturday night didn't seem to show up there. Obviously, Minnesota State's no slouch. I mean, they're number 20 team in the nation, but still a 76-57 loss, and maybe not the greatest night shooting from the boys.
Yeah, not really.
Not this season.
No, we didn't shoot very well. We, I think it was 28%, something like that. So that's the tell of the game. I mean, we played great defense. We held them to well below their average. We held them well below their field goal percentage average. We held them, we got to the free throw line more than they did. We didn't foul them. We just couldn't make shots. And we were open. We had good looks. They just riled in and out, and the ball didn't go in the hole. And I thought our guys at least competed for 40 minutes. I couldn't say that about the Bemidji game maybe the week earlier. I thought maybe when we didn't make shots, we kind of tucked our head between our tails and wanted the game to get over with. I thought Saturday night our guys kept competing. Our guys really did a nice job of hanging in there. Then they went on one more run to stretch it out to 20 there with about 5 or 6 minutes to go. And they're a good basketball team. Coach Morgan Thaler does a great job. And we're striving to be that program, and so it's a good learning lesson for our guys.
And Ty, I mean, was a bright spot on Saturday's game. He had 17 points for the boys, but I guess it's one of those where can the stats be a little deceiving? I mean, were you guys at least getting good looks in the game? I mean, because that's always the tough thing is if they're playing good defense and you're shooting 28%, that's one thing versus getting the good looks.
And they are a good defensive team, but we got some open looks, shots that we were making on Friday night that we didn't make on Saturday. And what I did like I saw out of Ty is he wasn't shooting it well, so usually Ty would either force up some more jumpers, but I thought Saturday night he did a nice job putting his head down, trying to get to the rim, which got him fouled, got him the free throw line. I believe he was 10 for 11 from the line on Saturday night. So, they're a good defensive team, but we got the looks we wanted, and we just didn't knock them down. We missed some real easy ones to start the game, and it's hard to recover from a bad start versus a good team, and that's what the situation we put ourselves in, and we couldn't dig out of it.
And it's one of those things too where you kind of said Minnesota State was maybe they're a good program, and they're a program that you guys would like to strive to be. And this is one of those games where maybe as a coach you don't like to see it, but it's maybe a good learning experience. One of those games where we didn't play our best game, but there's something that you can take out of this and improve on.
Yeah, I'm not a big silver lining guy, but it's the exact quote I used to my guys after the game on Saturday. But let's just go back to December when we played them. It didn't even look like we belonged on the same floor with them. So, that shows that these guys haven't quit, and these guys are still committed to finishing out the season and getting better every day. And because it was a totally different game Saturday night than it was when it was in Wayne in early December. So, I was pleased with that, but, no, you don't get points for that, and we got to play, again tonight, and every night we go on the floor. It's a totally different script. The guys that made baskets last week aren't going to make the same ones this week, and everybody's got to be ready to go.
Alrighty, well, we will talk a little bit more about the game against Sioux Falls coming up tonight. That game will tip off at 6 o'clock, and we'll hear Coach's thoughts on the game after the break. And welcome back. We're joined by Wayne State head coach Brian Dolan. Coach, last weekend's in the books now. We can focus ahead on this weekend. You guys played a home match against Southwest Minnesota State last night. Now you guys get the I-29 so-called rivals from Sioux Falls coming in tonight at 6 o'clock. Big bounce-back game for you guys here. You guys are both kind of very close to each other in the standings here, and this could be a nice step-forward game for the team.
Yeah, we're both 5-7 in the league, sitting in, I believe, 6th place, one game out of 5th, and they're playing better right now. They swept last weekend and beat Upper Iowa and Winona State at home, and they're a good team. They've had a tough part of their schedule. They started out 3-1 in the conference and then had lost a handful of games there. They played some tough teams on the road. Their overall road record's not very good. They're really good at home, so obviously we're glad to have this game in Rice tonight. but they're a very athletic team. They can really play off the dribble. Got some very active low post players. So what we have to learn from our last game against them is we got to make it a little bit tougher on them to score, which we're definitely playing better defense right now. And then we've got to handle their pressure a little bit better on the offensive end. Our spacing was clogged up against them last time. We just weren't very fluid offensively, which was our main issue all first semester. So I think that we're just a better team right now, but I got to believe they are as well. And it's a game that if we want to move up in the standings, that we probably need to try to take care of business. But you know, it's not going to be easy, so we'll see what happens.
Is that something you guys are going to maybe try to exploit that maybe could play into your advantages, maybe that getting that pressure on them, especially with them being on the road?
Well, you know, we did in the first half at their place. Actually, it was feast or famine at their place. We got a ton of layups in the game, but we made some really bonehead passes and some not smart decisions with the basketball. Matter of fact, I think we turned over the first 3 times against the press. I mean, we got to be smarter against it. You know, we either got to make them pay for it, or if not, if they don't give anything up, then we got to be able to get in our offense. It can't be feast or famine. If it's feast or famine, then, you know, it's a wash. It doesn't matter if you get those layups because you're giving it right back to them. So just like Coach Kilsmeyer said, that word consistency, I think we will be. We need to be more consistent handling their pressure, and I'm anxious to see how we handle their ball screen offense, because we did not handle it great last time, but we're much better today than we were then.
Oh, and you kind of just took my next question. I was going to say, it's nice that this is the second time that you're seeing them, and you can kind of really improve off of the last time that you guys saw them. Now you get them, you know, in your own barn, and like you said, you can play in front of the home crowd, and you know, put some pressure on them with them being on the road.
Yeah, it's an interesting trip for them because, you know, they played Augustana last night, so they went back and slept in their own beds, and then now they got to get up and come on a road trip. So it kind of maybe throws off their routine a little bit as well, and that could be good, it could be bad, because they're not a very good road team by record, and you know, so. You know, it is a different thing having them in Rice, and our guys are starting to have a little bit more confidence in one another and all those things. We'll just be a different team for them. They've definitely gotten better, but obviously I think just with everything being new with us, we've gotten, you know, our room for improvement was larger than a lot of teams, and we've made those strides. So we'll be a different team when we take the floor. It'll be interesting to see how Sioux Falls handles that, what kind of expectations they come in on how good we are now compared to what we were in November. And it wasn't like it was, or December. You know, they beat, I think, 85-75. At their place, and you know, it was a closer game. It was a 5-point game most of the time, and you know, they just pushed it out there late. So we can't give up 85 points and expect to win. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, that game will tip off this evening at 6 o'clock down at Rice Auditorium. Coach, we want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here as well with Coach Kilsmeyer here in just a little bit to get the final thoughts on the game against Sioux Falls. That's coming up after the break. And welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show. We're joined by both coaches, Chris Kilsmeyer and Brian Dolan. Chris, we'll start with you. The women looking to bounce back this week with a game tonight against Sioux Falls. A tough game for you guys. I guess what we kind of said, maybe a focus game, because you guys can control your own destiny from here on out in the NSIC.
Yeah, relax and play. First thing, we need to rebound. We really need to be aggressive on the defensive end and limit their opportunities. We feel like they're going to shoot a lot of 3 balls, so there's probably going to be a lot of long rebounds, and our guards need to be really involved in rebounding. Defensively, we need to make sure those 3 balls are covered, and we make it very difficult for them to get open looks on the outside. And on the offensive end, we need to just make sure that we space the floor well, move the ball, and just play confident. And, you know, if we're not hitting shots, then let's find a different way to score. Let's get offensive rebounds and easy putbacks, find a way to get to the free throw line and shoot a lot of free throws. Just, again, for us, I think it just comes down to our confidence and our ability to just go out and play our game. And when we play the way we're capable of playing, we feel like we're pretty tough to beat.
And that other C word, consistency, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Brian, kind of same question. You guys also get a tough Sioux Falls team. This is a big one as far as the NSIC standings go. You guys are right kind of in the middle of the pack there. Whoever wins tonight can kind of maybe take that next step forward to getting closer to the top of the standings there.
Yeah, it's a big game for us. I mean, like you said, it could have seeding implications down the stretch here, and so with them beating us at their place, it'd be really nice to get that split and get the win here, and then play out the rest of the season, see where the chips fall. But you know, it'll be it's going to be a battle. We got to keep them. You know, we got to keep them from doing the things they did last time. Our spacing on offense was very poor. They could pack it in on us, and we didn't make them guard us in space. We really need to make them guard us a little bit more in space and see if we can draw some help and kick to some shooters, or maybe be able to get to the basket. You get to the basket to get more free throws, and that's obviously a good place to be. And defensively, we got to keep them in front of us. We got to contain it. We want to make them shoot 15 to 17-foot contested jump shots. That's what our goal is on our defense. And if we can do that, then we got to put ourselves in a chance to win the game late.
And like you said, it's nice to be in the friendly confines of Rice Auditorium this week for both of you guys.
Well, we've only been there once in like the last 5 or 6 weeks, something like that, with a break over over the holidays and stuff. So I'm sure we're both excited to be there.
I'm looking forward to sleeping in my own bed.
Yeah, that's always nice too. Alrighty, well that's going to do it for the Wayne State Coaches Show. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Coaches, best of luck tonight against Sioux Falls. Women tip off at 4 o'clock, men tip off at 6. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you next weekend, and go Cats.
This has been the Wayne State Coaches Show, presented by Siouxland News on Fox 44.